In the West, the self has been sculpted by the ancient thinkers, celebrated by the Renaissance, and elevated by the ideals of individualism and autonomy. Socrates once said, "Unexamined life is not worth living," urging each individual to look within, to question, and to know oneself. Plato imagines a self as beyond this world, a soul of pursuit of truth. Descartes declared, "I think, therefore I am," placing thought as essence of being.
This journey of self has defined the Western world, a place where independence, self-expression, and rationality from the core of identity. Here, each person stands as their own guide, their own thinker, and ultimately, their own creator.
But what does this mean for us today? To be an individual, yet to be part of a society, seeking the personal truth while navigating through the world full of voices.
Join us as we explore the Western concept of self, a world where individuality is celebrated, yet always questioned. This is the story of the self, shaped from history and carried forward by each generation.
It's a lot like the Western idea of individualism. You're encouraged to make your own decisions even when it means standing apart from the crowd. I think this comes from the idea that you can only truly be happy or successful when you follow your own goals and not what others impose on you.
Being an individual isn't just about being alone. It's about being yourself in a way that no one else can be. You are taught to find your own path. In my own life, this intensive drive to carve out my identity, to question what everyone else assumed was my destiny.
Rationality plays a huge role. There's this sense that the reason is the highest guide to decision making.
When they face a big life choice, they didn't just go with their gut or what people expected of them. Rationality is a foundation of self, for to reason is to exist, and to exist is to define one's path. In the Western concept of self, rationality elevates the self, transforming thought into clarity and purpose. Through reason, individuals shape their understanding, discover its strength and its purpose. In here, we are the one to think what's better for ourselves. We are in the culture where rationalism should be pursued.
But the most interesting part of the Western self is autonomy. In Western societies, you're expected to be your own person, your own leader.
Autonomy is the heart of the Western self, where each person stands alone, charting their own course. It is not merely a privilege, but an unshakable responsibility to decide, to act, and to thrive. In solitude, we confront the weight of our choices, finding clarity in the quiet voice of reason. Only through independence can the self fully embrace its potential and truly exist. In the Western concept of self, autonomy isn't about isolation, though it's about choice. You can form connection, build relationships, but the fundamental belief is that your choices, who trust you, who loved you, who have engaged with others, should come from your own understanding of what is right for you.
To live on my own and hermitize, become a hermit. I thought that's the ideal spiritual situation to be in. You see yourself as a reflection in your fellow man, and you learn from your fellow man, good things and bad things. Provided, of course, you mix with the right people. I think loneliness is about a feeling of being lost, and you are wanting to find a direction and a search for something, and you're uncertain what that something is or should be.
I am, I suppose, just a being exploring life, and the exploring is more important than the I. It's not good enough to say you have to just be yourself. I think you have to know yourself. You've got to believe in yourself sufficiently to know that what you do is fine. If you make a mistake, it's also fine. That's what you learn from. And unless people can accept that, they're not softened into accepting themselves. They're searching outside instead of inside.
The Western concept of self isn't just a philosophy. It is a lived experience, an ongoing journey shaped by choices, reason, and autonomy.
In the West, the self is more than just a concept. It's a way of life. It is a belief that every individual holds the power to shape their destiny, to stand apart, and embrace their unique identity.
From Socrates' calls to examine life to Descartes' declaration of thoughts as existence, Western philosophy has long championed the pursuit of individual truth. It is a journey guided by reason, forged through confidence, and celebrated through autonomy.
But these ideas don't live in history alone. They thrive in the stories of everyday people, professional, artists, thinkers who dare to lead with their own vision, fueled by the courage to question and freedom to create.
The Western concept of self isn't just about standing alone. It's about standing strong, guided by reason, driven by independence, and inspired by a world of endless possibilities. It reminds us that the self is not just found, it is built, shaped, and constantly redefined.
This is the Western concept of self, the belief in power of individual, the value of rational thought, and the freedom to define one's own identity. It is a self that is always questioning, always seeking, always becoming, a story that continues to evolve, one person at a time.